Welcome folks, this is Wear and Tear, yet another outdoor and gear review channel. Today I want to show you a very interesting flashlight, the Boruit U6. So this flashlight is, interestingly enough, very high powered, yet still has a plastic body mainly. It has an aluminum head construction, but a plastic body. It has some side lights, has a magnetic base, USB-C charging, and has a very floody and powerful beam. The user interface is smart. It has two switches here. And yeah, I've used it for about a month now. I've used it for bicycle trips. I've used it on holiday outdoors. So I really know how it works in reality. And yeah, some lights are just looking nice on paper, but they're not convincing when you actually have to use them. This one is actually a really good budget flashlight. Although budget, I have to say, it runs for like up to 50 bucks on Amazon. I got it for like 20 from China, which is the much more reasonable price. First of all, what many would consider the biggest downside is that it has a battery that is built in and you cannot quickly exchange it. The battery, however, is a 18350 lithium ion cell, so a round cell. And those cells are just known to last for a very long time. So probably the light still has a life expectancy of 5 years or longer. I have had those round cells working without any flaw or big degradation for many years. So it's not a lithium polymer battery. So yeah, it's a very solid construction. The clip can be put in any position, which is highly necessary because when you want to put it on a Molly backpack or something like that, to have it a signal light, then you actually want that. Like long press gets you into, so you have two buttons. When you press on this one, this is the button dedicated for the side lights. I love that, two buttons instead of one. And then you have a red blinky mode, which is probably powerful enough for a signal on a backpack when you're biking. You have a very strong, surprisingly strong, kind of bluish, but in actuality is more white side light. And you have a beautiful warm white side light. You cannot regulate the brightness or so, it is what it is. Yeah, so the side light is useful. I have used it actually quite often. Now, the main light, those are SSD20 LEDs, so 6. Just a long press turns it on. In the last mode used, double press, full power. And yeah, it's a very floody beam profile, as you can see in the beam shots. The color rendition is nothing to cry home about, but it's decent enough to definitely walk around and see some details in nature, observe some features of the landscape, plants and stuff. So it's really not the best one with color rendition, but it is decent. You know, it's a nice floody beam. And yeah, the runtime, like the maximum power, 1600 lumen, you get that only for about 30 seconds. Of course, it is very efficient shedding heat here through the aluminum, but there are also limitations, of course. And it's such a small flashlight and it's very high power. Now we have the white light. It's supposed to be side light. It's supposed to run for 7 hours, and the yellow light for 6.5 hours, a little bit less efficient, and the red light about 11 hours, so the side lights. And the main light on high brightness about 1 hour or 50 and low power, which is still useful. My experience, it is actually It's not as terrible as the lithium polymer, as many lithium polymer powered lights. It has a little bit better run times. It just gives you more brightness, but the cell in there is still just 1100 milliamps, but is sufficient, especially for such a small flashlight. So I found that this light is highly useful, and I will gladly have it in my EDC rotation, especially when it comes to biking as an auxiliary flashlight. It's just neat to have. Yeah, I like the magnetic base. By the way, I'm going to do a review on this knife. This is just very, very nice. Just got it in yesterday. I have to use stuff before I do a review, of course. Boruit is not so well known, not like Sofern or Workus, but they actually make decent lights. I already had this one, and this one also has a Sidelight. It has a little bit of a interesting user interface, but I like it. It's also kind of useful for biking. This one is a headlamp with color modes, and what I like about this one, it has mode memory on all modes, and it has a green mode too. So I already like Boruit. I know that they have decent flashlights, and so I really wanted to give this one a shot, and I'm very happy with it. It's definitely a good flashlight. So this was Wear and Tear, over and out.